What comes next after you learn Vulcan tech gospel? Drex here from Drex Factor Poi, sharing with you the love of poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And today, we're going to do something slightly unusual and cover not just one trick, but an entire framework for a trick and see what comes out of learning it. Before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Flow Fests, Flow Toys, Juggling Calling, Pyroterra Light Toys, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all of these amazing businesses and what they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links that I have down in the description of this video. And special thanks to non-business friends of the channel, Johnny Howard, Lain Mochinsky, and Pekha Pekkonen. Thank you so very much for your support for my work and my mission. So I know that you know this feeling. You have been working for hours, weeks, sometimes months to get down that new trick. And then when you get it, you think, oh goodness, if I want to go for another trick, it's going to require that much work again, isn't it? Not necessarily. It turns out that there's a lot of tricks out there that once you learn them, there's knowledge from that can help you get other variations on them. And that is the mission of this series. It's not a tutorial, it's not a combo, it's what comes next. And this particular video comes as a request of sorts from Kurt Meyer, who wanted to see me do a deep dive into VTG. I don't think that this is exactly what you were intending me to cover, but I'll do a more deep dive in the coming months here, but I did want to just throw something out there because it struck me as this could be a really interesting seed idea for putting together a What Comes Next video. So here's the thing, VTG or Vulcan Tech Gospel is not like one trick. It's basically a framework for understanding how a whole bunch of tricks can fit together. Namely, it involves taking basic knowledge of timing and direction as well as a number of different poi flower patterns and mapping out how exactly you can transition back and forth between different types of shapes, hybrids, and of course just doing the same flowers with each hand. It's a pretty comprehensive way of looking at timing and direction, and it also comes with it a whole hairball of all kinds of other tricks too. So it's kind of a big elephant to eat in a single mouthful. And nonetheless, I'm going to try anyway. I'm going to try and show at least 3 things that you can do once you have the basics of Vulcan Tech Gospel under your belt and are ready to go out and apply it. So first up, this is going to seem like such a very bizarre and very narrow reading on Vulcan Tech Gospel, but I think that it is really worth it to learn all of the hybrids involving a box mode anti-spin flower. The reason for this is just with all of the 3-to-1 patterns, box mode feels the least intuitive to me. Like, I get in-spin flowers, both with petals to the sides as well as top and bottom, as well as diamond mode anti-spin, but there's something about box mode that just feels strange every single time I do it. And that's why I think it benefits from a little bit of extra training. And in truth, there are a bunch of hybrids that use these box mode 4-petal anti-spin flowers. They're all worth learning how to do, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to show them to you both in split opposites as well as together same, simply because it's a small sample set. And of course, this sets you up for the ability to do things like some cool body tracer hybrids as well. Nevasol, for example. Yeah, this is definitely worth getting into and definitely looks cool once you get all the pieces in place. Next, one of my favorite drills of all time, and that is moving back and forth between all 4 timing and direction modes while the poi are in split time same direction. Seriously, when you really get this one down, I kind of think of it as being like the circle of fifths with poi. Split time, same direction makes for a great place to kind of base this in, simply because the poi are always going to be pointed away from each other whenever you make a transition. And there's something about that that just feels very comforting and visually stunning to me. Should also be said that it runs through several of my favorite 3-to-1 patterns, including that split time opposite 4-petal anti-spin versus 2-petal in-spin, as well as buzzsaw flowers and anti-spin, and of course split time same direction anti-spins too, all of which look fantastic. It does get a little sticky in that together opposite spot, but hey, you know, worst case scenario, you just get to do a little bit more drilling here and it gets you right back to together same. Brilliant. Now, before I give you my number one pick for what comes next after you learn Vulcan Tech Gospel, I do have just a quick favor to ask. That is, if you have gotten this far, it almost certainly means that you're into poi tricks and learning poi spinning in general. And guess what? I make lots of videos on that topic. So if you don't mind, and if you're getting something out of this video, please give my channel a subscribe so that you know exactly when I drop a new video. And also please leave me your requests for tricks that I can cover in future installments of what comes next. I get most of my ideas for this content from requests from viewers like you, so keep them coming. And now my final pick for what comes next after you learn Vulcan Tech Gospel. Yeah, this is going to be a real hard left turn. It's going to be to learn 9-square theory. So here's the thing. Vulcan Tech Gospel is incredibly useful for a lot of things, not the least of which understanding what happens as you're doing mode shifts in between different patterns that have the same number of downbeats. But 9-square theory is fantastic at breaking down what happens inside of polyrhythm patterns. Like, 9-square theory technically covers everything that Vulcan Tech Gospel does, and then a few additional things too, plus which it's a great stepping stone for learning QFT, which is a notation system for poi that I feel never got its due. I truly feel like 9-square theory was one of those great breakthroughs that definitely didn't get enough press when it came out. So I would love it if we could show it a little love now and maybe learn something in the process. Those 8-step caps, oh, they look super cool. So those were my 3 picks for what comes next after you learn Vulcan Tech Gospel. This video would not be possible without the kind support of all of these nice people right here. These are my Flow patrons over on Patreon, and they, along with the people listed down in the description, help to make this video and all the videos on this channel possible. Thank you one and all so much for your support. Now, if you are not a supporter, do you like these videos? Do you like my flow sessions, what comes next, vlogs, etc.? I'm on a mission to try and bring poi spinning and flow arts to the wider world and help people connect with their brains and their bodies as creative individuals. So help me do it. Head on over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and sign up. You can do that either at the link down in the description or the card that just popped up if you're watching on YouTube. There you can get access to a whole host of rewards and, well, quite frankly, just a whole bunch of awesomeness. So go check that out. Please and thank you. So I admit it was hugely challenging trying to do this video because I had to narrow it down to things that I thought were doable, but not a huge leap once you understand the basics of Vulcan Tech Gospel, and that is a pretty big elephant to bite out a chunk of. How did I do? Were there things that you think I missed that I should have covered? Let me know down in the description. I wouldn't mind doing a second video on this topic. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you a link to a playlist of other videos I've done in the What Comes Next series down in the description, as well as up on screen if you are watching on YouTube. Make sure to get outside and flow this weekend, and I'll see you with a brand new video on Monday. Peace.